All right, guys, what's going on? Hey, everyone, welcome to 9-5 Escape. Hope you all are having a great start to the week. Welcome to our Clarity live stream today. I'm excited for this one. We're going to have a great live stream. If you guys are joining us here today, let us know where you're joining from. Say hello in the comments and let us know where you're watching from. Would love to hear from you, how your week has been going. If you're new to the group, welcome to the group. If you haven't done so already, but at the end, after this training, go ahead up to the announcement posts and introduce yourself. Let us know who you are and what you're about and what you're looking to get out of this group so that we can best serve you. If you're a regular in this group, you know that we come in here live every Monday at 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern to share what's working as we escape or have escaped our 9-to-5s for online entrepreneurship. So welcome to today's live. Everyone, again, if you guys are watching, let us know where you're watching from. Say hello in the comments. We want to know that you're here and that you're with us and that you're excited for today's live. So I'm going to tee up the call a little bit here for you guys today. You're going to have two parts to this call today. The first part, we are going to be talking about getting clear on what to do. And this is going to have multiple parts. So I asked and you receive. You guys told me what you were hoping to get out or learn in 2021. That's going to help you move your business forward. And one of the top things that came out of that was getting clarity around what to do. Now, my question wasn't very clear. And so that opens up some space for us to talk around really what is the what. So I'm excited to go into that today. We're going to talk about what to do in terms of actions. And we're also going to talk about what to do in terms of what is your business going to be. If you're in your corporate job or in your position now, you don't know exactly what you would leave for or escape for, you just know you want to leave, and we're going to help you with that as well. So that's going to be part one. We're going to do some training and get you guys some good value going on in here. And part two, I'm going to have a special invitation for some of you who are watching to really lock hands, lock arms, and do this together. So really accelerate your progress and accelerate your success in your business so that you can get out of your 9-to-5 quicker. So I have a special invitation for you guys around that as well. So if you guys are ready for this live stream today, drop a ready down below. Let me know that you're ready to jump into this. We're going to be talking about all things clarity around what to do today. And, this is something that I think a lot of us struggle with. I remember, just thinking back to when I first got started and what some of my struggles were. And the challenge was that I knew I wanted to get out of my 9-to-5. I knew that I wanted a specific type of lifestyle. I didn't know what that meant in terms of what actions do I have to take. And I also didn't know what that meant in terms of like, what am I going to actually provide to people? I mean, and so those two things are, I really believe, what stops a lot of us from just taking action in the first place. It's like, if I don't know what I'm going to do and I don't know how or what to do to move myself forward, then I guess I'll just figure out how to get comfortable where I'm at. And that's not what we're about in this group. So get ready to shift your mindset a little bit and really learn what it's going to take in order for you to get out of your 9-to-5. So guys, I just want to make sure that I still got you guys here. So it looks like we do. We cut out there for a quick second. And I'm just making sure that we're back here. You know what's really, while we're on this topic, I'm waiting for it to come back. Okay, yes, it is back. You know what's funny though, we're on this topic, Apple, great company, great products, but their new MacBooks only have two USB-C ports on the side, and it is extremely frustrating because when you have a microphone, you have a camera set up, you have an extra screen going, it overloads these little drives, and that's what happens. I guess we got disconnected there. So looks like we're still good. We're still live. If you guys are having any trouble, just drop it in the comments. But a little side tangent there. If you're looking at new computers, I don't know. It's pretty annoying. All right, guys. So let's get into this. When I first started out, I really wasn't sure what direction I was taking. And I think that's really what stops a lot of us from getting into action and moving forward and getting something happening, right? It's like that uncertainty can really stop us. So what I want to do today is share with you some tips and things that you can actually take and use to your advantage so that you can actually get some clarity here. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys. And what we're going to talk about today is the following. All right. So, what are you going to actually offer? This is really the first step, because before you can do anything else, you have to know what you're actually going to offer. And so, we're going to talk about how to get some clarity around what to offer. We're also going to talk about what steps to take first once you've got that, what to do next after that, what's going to work for you, and what's going to get you results. There are so many different things, and I talked about it in the announcement post for this live, is talking about when a road splits in two and taking the unbeaten path. But what's funny is that in digital marketing, online marketing, working online businesses, there are so many different approaches to what can work and what is successful for some people in some types of businesses versus others, that we have this like distraction at all times pulling us this way and that way. And we think, no, we should do this, or we should try that, or we should try this, or we should try that. And I'm going to try to help you sort of sift through some of that noise, because it can be really distracting and also ultimately just super detrimental to our progress. So let's start with, what are you going to offer? This is an interesting thing, right? Because those of you that are in this group are likely seeking out a specific type of lifestyle through escaping your 9 to 5, right? You either have a side gig already, or maybe you have just a desire to leave your job, but you don't know exactly what it is. The lifestyle piece of it is really, I think, important to understand. But it can also be distracting, because you think about the lifestyle that you want, and then it's hard to figure out and connect, like, how does that fit into something that I can, make money from? How do I make money? Right? Like, ultimately, that's the end game, is how can I make enough money to live the lifestyle I want without having to wake up every morning and go to 9 to 5, right? And so then the question becomes, well, I have no idea what it is, and when I started thinking about leaving my job, I was thinking about the lifestyle. I was thinking about where I'm at now, the end game, like, how can I achieve this amazing lifestyle? But I didn't know what was going to get me there. I didn't have any good ideas, right? And so you start thinking, like, man, well, it would be great to start a bar with my buddy, right? And then you start thinking about the success rate of restaurants and in the climate that we're in right now, especially. I mean, forget it, right? And the overhead, the investment to get started, the employees, the legal, all the stuff that you don't want to have to think about. And then you realize, like, that's not going to get me my ideal lifestyle, is it? Right? So then you start thinking, well, maybe there's a product I can sell. So let's dig into this a little bit, because the strategy that I teach and that I promote works really well for specific types of businesses, and won't work as well for other types of businesses. If you're running a pizza joint, you're in the wrong group, unless you want to leave your job running a pizza joint to do something online, then we can work that. But selling pizza, it's just not going to connect. So there's certain things that make a lot of sense, and there are other things that don't. So let's talk about what makes sense for this particular model. So when you're thinking about what you're going to offer, you have some different options. One is products, right? We can all offer a product. Maybe you have something that you've developed already on the side that you can start to kind of really ramp up and sell that. But most people don't have that already. And unless you have some specific idea, some great options within offering products would be MLM or network marketing. It could be affiliate marketing, or you can do white labeling, right? So you take, products from a greater company and you put your own label on it and you market it that way. I know some people that do that with hair care products. I know some people that do that with nutrition, especially. And so when you think about it, offering products through a group that's focused on a specific thing is one really great way to go. Okay, so what would this look like in terms of network marketing or MLM, affiliate, or white label? Well, you've got your product line. Okay, and let's say your product line is, let's go with sports nutrition. Okay, so it's health related, but it's more in line with sports. Let's say you're a male, 36, that's active in, let's say, okay, I'm just using myself here, skydiving, mountain biking, and trail running. So what can I do with that? How can I dig into what I'm going to offer and make it really specific for somebody and then tie a product to it and not just feel like I'm going online and saying like, "Hey, buy these, you know, products." And the way to do that is by getting really specific and first of all picking something that makes sense for you. And so if that example makes sense for you, now you have the ability to create a community around people that are into skydiving, into mountain biking and trail running, who are also physically active or fit, where performance enhancement or nutrition is something important to those people, right? You're speaking to a really specific audience. So this is one way you can start to think about it in terms of either your network marketing business as products or an affiliate sort of thing or white labeling. Okay, so if you have no idea of what to do, products can be a great way. And there's a couple of keys. And obviously, if that's something you want to move on, reach out to me and I can make some recommendations for you of what direction to take for those as well, because you want to make the right decision. You want to partner with a company that has a reputation and those sorts of things as well. So that's important. I can give you some recommendations there. So that's what products would look like basically. If you guys are still with me, just let me know that you're getting value out of this, and drop a value below in the comments. Let me know that this is connecting so far. So going back to what are you going to offer? So we have products, we've covered that. Now let's talk about services. Services is something that also works really well in this model. And that is essentially, um, let's say coaching, consulting, or specific programs, like maybe you have workout programs or something like that. Those can work really well for this as well. And let me just silence my phone there. Interesting, when you put your phone on do not disturb, it still rings. I don't know how that works. I got to check that out. So anyways, so yeah, look, talking about services, let's look at this. So we have coaching, we have consulting, we have programs. This is pretty straightforward, but if you are a coach of any sort, or if you have a specialized skill that you consult on, or maybe you are, let's say you're a web designer, and you can consult people on web design. Maybe you have some different programs, like I mentioned before. Maybe you have a workout program that you're doing, kind of like a hybrid of a live workout with some training courses attached to it. Okay, and that kind of goes into the other option, which is courses. And that's where you take a specialized knowledge. Maybe you have a passion or a skill that you can teach, and you create that into you put that into a course, and then you market that similarly as products to a community of people that are interested in what you have to offer. So specialized knowledge, this could mean anything. um, let's see here. I remember, who was it now? It was Ed. Yeah. So Ed, you had requested some information around getting clarity around what to do. Specialized knowledge, passion, or skill. I remember a couple of months ago you had mentioned something about a recording studio, right? This is where you can actually kind of slide into the course arena, because whether you have ever set up a recording studio before or not, you probably have some in-depth knowledge about how to do it, what you might need in order to do it, different types of equipment. I'm going far out of my realm here because I don't know anything about recording other than this microphone I have in front of me, but you understand what I'm saying. And so you're able to actually take that information, those skills, that knowledge, put that into something comprehensive for someone that is not even where you're at yet, and start there. That's something that you can monetize quickly. You can market to a large audience of people that are just getting their feet in the water. Um, and you have something to offer them. And so creating a course around something like that, as you build your knowledge, as you get the experience to start teaching people the next step and the next step, right? And being able to fund that for yourself comes from being able to market these things. So anybody that's thinking about, and I recommend this because I really think either coaching or course work is it's super fulfilling. And especially because courses are something that you record, you okay, it takes some work. I'm not going to say just do it once, but you put in your effort into that once, and that's something that is pretty evergreen that you can continue to market, and then continue to grow, your offerings from there. It's just super effective, and I think it's an amazing way to pursue your passion because people say if you love cars, be a mechanic, but you know what? If you love cars and you're a mechanic, you're going to get sick of working on cars at some point, right? It's just like, carpenters often have the most, handyman projects to do at their own house because they just don't want to do it on their free time. So create something around what you love, but that also allows you to step away, gives you the free time to pursue other things in life, right? And so teaching a specialized knowledge, passion, or skill is something as well that you can do. So let's move on from what are you going to offer. If you guys have any questions about what you're going to offer, drop it in the comments. I'll try to help give you some clarity around that. But start with thinking about either a product, a service, or a course that you would either offer or create around something that you love to do. You're going to have to go a little bit deep. And if you're a person that loves what you do as a career, but you hate or dislike heavily your work situation, maybe it's the hours, the travel, your boss, whatever that is, the workload itself, then you can take what you know around that job and just move it into a course, right? I was speaking with somebody a couple of weeks ago who does product management, and it had a course around product management for project managers, who need help. And it's a brilliant, course. He just took his specialized skill that he was doing for years and years as corporate and turned it into something that he had for himself. And so really think about what you can go there. Okay, so now we've covered the what in terms of like, what am I going to do? Now let's cover the what in terms of what steps do I have to take? What actions do I need to take? And so what do you do first? The first thing that we do, and the first thing that in our course is elevate. We elevate our mindset, and we do this big time. And there's a really big reason for that, but ultimately it's important to really dig deep into who you are and why you're doing what you're doing. And that becomes really clear as you go through the process of why that's so important. But really it's understanding that drive that's going to push you forward. It's going to allow you to overcome obstacles and hurdles along the way. That's what's going to keep you going, is that why. And so understanding what that is, getting some clarity around the direction we're going to take. This stuff seems simple, but this basic planning are things that people miss when they start their own business, and then they get into it and they don't know what happened because it's just a whirlwind. So this is really important stuff. So start with you. You've got to gain clarity around your desire for change. So why do you want this? What will this change for you in your life? How will your life change because of doing this? Who else is going to be impacted by that? As your kids, your spouse, other family members, friends, people in, social networks and groups that you're a part of. Who else is going to be impacted? And what will life look like on the other side? So go through this, guys, and just ask yourself, why this? Why me? And why now? And it's just important because we need to know. We have to know what's going to drive us forward. So that's actually the first step. If you skip this, don't be tempted to skip this. Seriously, this is important. So if you skip this, it's just not going to fall into place for you. What do you do next? After you've dug deep, you've decided what you're going to actually offer people, or somewhat. What do you do next? Well, the next part and the next most important thing is really to start strategizing. Once you're clear on you, then you've got to get clear on your direction. So good ideas only come to fruition when they're well thought out and planned upon. And, I don't know if I used this last week or not, but Tony Robbins once said that knowledge is not power. Knowledge is a potential for power. We have to put action behind that knowledge in order to gain power. And that's really true. So let's make sure that the efforts that we're putting forth are most directed and planned out, so that we're not just everywhere, right? Because in online marketing, there's so many approaches, there's so many people doing different things. If you keep jumping from one to the next, you will not be successful. You have to choose your path and make sure you choose the right one that makes sense for what you're doing, right? Like I said before, this strategy makes sense for people in network marketing, coaching, course creation, that sort of thing. And so, make sure that the path you're on makes sense, but you've got to put the action behind it. So not jumping from one to the next is really important. We're going to talk about that as well. But strategize, guys. Really ask yourself, is there demand for what I'm doing? And I encourage you not to write yourself off too quickly. This can happen too. It's like, I always say this, but there are Facebook groups online for like people that love to knit kittens or something, right? It's like people over 60 that love knitting kittens, and I'm sure you can find a couple of groups around that. So don't write yourself off too quickly, but make sure that your idea is solid, right? We want something that people do really, really want. Okay, so is there a demand for it? Maybe there's a lot of people that love knitting kittens, but there might not be any demand for learning how to do that, right? Who is my ideal client? Who do you actually want to work with? Who are you, and who do you want to work with? What would be your perfect person? If you could just pick one person to work with over and over again, you have that opportunity. Who would that be? Where can I make the most profit? This is a really important question to ask yourself, because again, you can have a good, idea, you can be with the right people, but if there's just not a demand or there's no profit to be made there, it's not going to work out for you. This is, ultimately we want to make money, right? You can't escape your 9 to 5 unless you can supplement that income somehow, most likely. Where is there overlap between these, right? So is there demand? Who is my ideal client? Where can I make profit? Where's the overlap? That's kind of your sweet spot right in the middle. But you want to try to identify where that is for you. So that you know you're kind of on the right path. And then lastly, you want to set parameters and objectives that can be measured. So this means like set out a 30, a 60, a 90-day goal, set out a 6-month, a 1-year goal, set out a 5-year goal, set out a 10-year goal. This is basic stuff, but you should definitely have those things and make the goals specific. So if we're talking about, choosing, what you're going to offer, put a deadline, for yourself and say, by this date, I am going to know exactly what it is I'm going to offer, whether that's a product line or I'm going to create a course or I'm going to teach this specific skill. Make a decision and set that parameter in stone by writing it down. If it comes down to maybe you already have a community started and you want to grow your group, then, put a goal for your group growth, put a monetization goal for how much you want to sell or how much you want to reinvest into your business. Really get specific around some of those things, because this is what's going to help you understand what's next. All right. So what is going to work? This is a trick question, guys, because honestly, at the end of the day, what's going to work is whatever you're committed to, right? It's $1 million question, and the $1 million answer is truly whatever you're committed to. And, you have to be willing to be committed and then also be conscious of what's happening and willing to pivot, right? So what's really going to work is you being 100% committed. I'm giving you all of the solutions here. If you went through all of the 25 plus videos that we have in this group, you could pretty closely put together all of this for yourself. So you have this blueprint, you have the steps, the things that you need to do in order to get the success. So you need to have conviction and willingness to do 2 things: to test continually and to pivot. So everything that you do becomes a test, and every one of those tests gets evaluated and gets to have a pivot if necessary, so that you can continually perfect. We're about mastering a process. It's just learning. Like I was saying before, if you want to teach people how to set up a recording studio, that may be the first step. It's like beginner's course, recording studio 101. But as you do that, you're mastering the process. And the next thing you're going to be able to teach is how to take that to the next level, and then how to begin recording and how to have the perfect setup and the perfect sounding and all of these minutiae little things that don't really matter to the person that's just starting out. For day one, they're just excited to get something into a mic, right? And then by the end, they've become professionals as well. And so as you test and pivot, you are mastering the process to make it that much easier for somebody else, right? I've gone through it, spent 10 years escaping my corporate career. I did it successfully. I lived the lifestyle that I wanted to live. So I can take that, I can distill it all down into something that makes much more sense and is much more clear cut and actionable for you, versus how I went about it, which was like up, over, out and around, right? That's the whole point. So we're becoming masters of really what we're doing. So you have to have conviction and willingness to test and pivot all the time. And this is really what that would look like, guys. I mean, this is what our sales process looks like. Essentially, we have our Facebook profile. We take somebody from there to Messenger or into our Facebook group. Again, we take someone from there, building a relationship through trainings like this, through messaging, to a call, and then final sale into our program. And so, what's going to get results, right? Ultimately, what is going to work is a little bit different than what's going to get results, because as I said before, this strategy works really well for certain types of businesses, and that's going to get the best results. Ultimately, you have to be willing to put in the effort, the work, the time to get these things going. It's all about that testing, right? So trust yourself, trust the process. This has all been laid out. Specifically for you in order to have success. So don't reinvent the wheel. That's like a common problem. We're always trying to like, oh, I like that. Let me do that too. But it's already there for you. That's how we teach you to do content, right? In your groups, it's like the content is all around us. Repurpose it the way that it makes sense for you and for your audience. And we're going to leave you with this one, guys, because most of the lack of results comes from this shiny object syndrome that I brought up before. This is a really common problem, especially on social media, because as you're scrolling, you are constantly bombarded by other people's agendas, their thoughts, their wants, desires, everything. And when you get into this field, you start to see and follow a lot of people in the same field, and it can be distracting because you think, wow, that person got a lot of responses on that type of post. Let me read it. How can I get the better copy? How can I do this? How can I do that? Oh, this person's system seems to be working well. Maybe I should be doing that instead of this. But ultimately, you have to choose your course. You have to know what course you're on, and you have to limit the distractions from the other people. If what they're doing is working for them, that's fantastic. But what you're doing needs to be working for you. And so in order to do that, you need to get clarity around what you're going to do, what are the first steps, and how to avoid getting so distracted by everything else. Okay. So don't fall into the trap. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. And you start seeing ads, and then you click and you go down these rabbit holes. And the next thing you know, you've wasted a lot of time thinking about somebody else's process that might not even make any sense for you at all. So really pay attention to the path that you're choosing and stick with it. Be committed, like really be committed, and follow the process, because I'm telling you, this is like ABC 1, 2, 3. Do this, escape your 9 to 5. Okay. So it just comes down to getting this stuff, put into place and getting those actions really consistent. So think about it like this, guys. Babies fall and get back up over and over and over until they eventually begin to walk on their own. And why is that? Well, honestly, it's because they just don't know any better. So treat your business the same way. Continue getting up, continue failing, continue pivoting until you get it right. Because the only way to get there is by doing those things. There's no other way. There really is no other way. So guys, I want to move into part 2 of the call here. If you got value from this call so far, drop a value below. Let me know that this was helpful to you. I'm addressing these specifically for you guys because you've called it out in the group. So I want to make sure that you're getting the most out of these calls and you're getting the information that you were hoping for. So any questions, drop them in the comments. But if you're getting some value from this, drop a value in the comments below. So guys, part 2 of this call, I have a special invitation for you all. As you know, a couple of weeks ago, I released my first and latest version of the Escape curriculum. Super excited to be sharing this with you guys because it is literally my blood, sweat, and tears from 10 years worth of work, really uncovering and figuring out how does this all work and how does this all work for me so that I can actually be effective at my 9 to 5 escape and live the lifestyle that I truly love to live. And so I worked really hard putting this together. It has everything that you need to be able to walk from your 9 to 5, coming up with concepts, to understanding, what this is all for, to putting together the systems and the processes that you need in order to be effective, to save you time, to start generating you money, more quickly. And so if that's something that you want to explore for yourself and for your business, then drop an I'm in the comments below and I'll reach out to you. We'll have a quick 15-minute triage call. We'll see if there is an opportunity to help you with this. And if there is, then we'll jump on that strategy session and we'll see what that looks like for you. But this is truly your blueprint. It's your step-by-step escape plan. That's really what I aimed to create when I started this all. And I'm super proud of it. I'm really excited about it. We've gotten a couple of people went through the beta already with some killer results. And so I'm just really excited to share that with you guys. So if you're looking for an accelerated way to take your business to the next level, to be able to escape your 9 to 5 without spending all of your time, huddled over social media and without going totally broke in the process, then drop an I'm in the comments below. I'll reach out to you. We'll get on the phone and we'll see what that looks like for you. Excited guys to share this with you guys. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed today's topic. Let me know what you want to hear in future discussions, because I'm always trying to give you exactly what it is that's going to help you best get to the next step, get closer to that escape. So if there's something that you want to know, there's some sort of specific topics that you guys want to hear about, drop them anywhere in the group and we'll make sure to get around to those in the coming weeks for you. As usual, guys, we'll be in this group every Monday, 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern, sharing what's working for us as we have escaped our 9 to 5s for online entrepreneurship. Super excited to share the next one with you guys next week. Have a great week, guys, and go out there and crush it. I'll catch you then. Cheers.